station that stands for Kansas City. This is KCTV 5 News at 10.
Days before opening for the summer, more red flags at Schlitterbahn Water Park.
What inspectors found this time had nothing to do with Verut, the massive slide that ended a young boy's life. Instead, they're calling out a number of other rides all throughout the park.
KCTV 5's Rudy Harper is live at Schlitterbahn tonight and has reaction from the water park and an engineer. Rudy?
Brett Ellen, the water park attracts thousands daily on hot summer days. State regulators found 11 major complaints, but still, the water park plans to open this Friday. The 59-page audit lists major violations on 11 rides that need to be addressed immediately. Kansas Department of Labor investigators went to the park last week and could not find some reports, including operation manuals, daily and annual inspection reports, and ride manufacturer and maintenance. Dempster does not believe the park is safe for visitors. Schlitterbahn released a statement. It read in part, "Our commitment to safety remains our highest priority." The report found no issues with the mechanical function of our rides. 1970s called the violations cosmetic issues, but critical for operation.
And that's really the problem with the Department of Labor's inspection. It's coming in the middle of the problem. If we want that park safe, we got to go back to the beginning of the problem.
Dempster does not believe the park is safe for visitors. Schlitterbahn released a statement. It read in part, "Our commitment to safety remains our highest priority." The report found no issues with the mechanical function of our rides. And Schlitterbahn says they will file a letter challenging the findings in that audit report. Live in Kansas City, Kansas, Rudy Harper, KCTV 5 News.
Thanks, Rudy. To see the full list of rides flagged in that report, head to our website and click Founded on 5.
Well, get ready for a really hot day tomorrow. Now, the difference between the middle of summertime and the kind of summertime heat we're getting now, in the middle of summertime, it stays hot all night long. Temperatures are cooling out there. In fact, the temp has slipped down to 70 degrees. So by next hour, we should be in the upper 60s, or at least by midnight, eventually down to 65 degrees by morning, and then temperatures take off. We're in the 80s at noontime. The eventual daytime high hits 87. Not much of a rain threat tomorrow, a much better rain threat later in the week. I'm tracking those chances in your Storm Track 5 forecast coming up.
New at 10, police in 2 Kansas towns are warning drivers about car break-ins after a rash of crimes in their communities, including this one, which was caught on camera. Officers in Spring Hill and Tonganoxie are asking owners to take anything valuable out of their cars. KCTV 5's Emily Rittman talked with one victim who had her car window bashed in. Emily?
Brad, Morgan Skaggs says she locked her car, but that wasn't enough. While she was earning a living, a thief was stealing from her.
Morgan accidentally left her purse inside her car while carrying an armload of items into her work.
One of my coworkers came in and said, "Hey, did you see your car?" I was like, "No." So I go outside and my whole passenger side window is busted in.
Before Morgan could cancel her debit card, she says this woman rushed to rack up as much as she could at the Price Chopper in Spring Hill.
She had spent about $1,000 out of our account, just drained it.
She hopes anyone who recognizes her will quickly call in tips.
Please just turn her in. Not only did it happen to me, it happened to 2 other people that I know of in Spring Hill that day.
Police in Tonganoxie are also searching for another woman accused of breaking into cars in Tonganoxie, Baser, and Lawrence. They shared this surveillance photo of her and her accomplice. He was captured on a security camera checking to see if a car door was locked. He was arrested. They are still searching for her. Tips helped police identify her after she was caught on camera rummaging through this vehicle.
And anyone who has any information about the whereabouts of either woman seen in the video surveillance, you are asked to report it to police. Reporting live, Emily Rittman, KCTV 5 News.
Thanks, Emily. New developments now in the Governor Greitens case. Tonight, Missouri's governor is fighting back against scandals with attack ads. They tear apart the St. Louis prosecutor and call the case fake news. Meanwhile, a busy week ahead for lawmakers investigating Greitens, who ultimately could determine if they want to impeach him. They also want to get to the bottom of that mystery money. It was sent to the attorney of the man who leaked the dirty photo story.
An Independence cop who's been in law enforcement for 22 years says he's handled hundreds of fatal wrecks, all of them causing heartache. But as KCTV5's Betsy Webster reports, not one was as emotional as the one he was honored for today.
22-year-old Carissa Leitzinger walked to the front of Center Point Hospital's auditorium just 6 months after breaking both arms, both legs, her pelvis, and more.
For a few minutes, didn't realize because of the amount of damage that it was, that it was her car.
Independence police officer Ron Balser was first on scene. He soon realized that the woman trapped inside, near death, was his niece.
It was very difficult. I mean, my heart just sank.
8 first responders got Great Save awards for her rescue, and she was grateful to all of them. But it was obvious her uncle's involvement was especially meaningful.
It just proved to me that there's someone above putting people in the right place at the right time.
The awards for saving her life were among about a dozen given out by Centerpoint today, connected to 3 different wrecks.
Parents, including a KC mom, say that they spent hundreds of dollars to participate in the Baby Miss America pageant.
That pageant was held earlier this month at a hotel in St. Louis. Our sister station was alerted about Baby Miss America months ago after receiving a complaint from a mother, and Chris Negus was sent to investigate.
From the minute we entered this airport hotel, angry families approached us.
This is disappointing because we'll never have another pageant again. And it's because this is unorganized. We're 3 hours behind. You have screaming kids.
Some families had no idea what was going on and seemed excited to see our cameras.
You see what we do every day.
All of them were jammed into a hot ballroom without a working air conditioner. Giant fans were rolled in to keep them cool. But tempers heated up.
And I got reprimanded for talking to the judge and said the little girl I was with would be disqualified.
The show is orchestrated by this Texas woman. Hi, Sammy. We will hear from her in a moment.
Told you to come in the room over.
But it was clear parents were at their wits' end. Would everybody that's here right now, do you say this is going well today? We were alerted about Baby Miss America months ago.
I thought, well, it'd be fun to try to enter her.
Victoria Hayslip of Wright City entered her daughter in the Kansas City pageant in 2016. She says her family sold multiple ads for a pageant book and raised $400. She says it was a requirement to participate. Have you ever seen that book?
No.
Are you supposed to get a copy of it?
Yes.
It's a steady flow of complaints.
In Texas, the Better Business Bureau tracks complaints about Baby Miss America.
They currently have an F rating.
Denisha Maxey says the F rating involves 2 unresolved complaints and 1 unanswered. The BBB also says there's an overall similar pattern of complaints.
People have entered the pageants. They've paid for photo packages, trophies, name badges. They're not receiving any of the merchandise.
So when we learned Baby Miss America was headed to St. Louis, we stopped by. In the lobby, I met a frustrated Lynette Sheffield. Her family spent a lot to attend. Your ex-husband flew in from California for this?
Yes.
What's his reaction?
He's just, I don't even want to say the word.
In addition to the entry fees, her family purchased tickets, $20 each. And those tickets were nothing more than empty pieces of plastic. And when you bring a lot of people, those fees add up.
This is the ticket. And my daughter paid $380 for the tickets.
You admit this is not going well today.
Absolutely not. With this heat, no. I mean, I'm sweating. I have grandmas in here. I have babies in here. They're all sweating.
Pageant director Sammy Savoy recognizes the St. Louis pageant had problems. The broken AC was part of it, but she says the hotel placed nearly 400 chairs in a room meant for only 200 people. There were also long delays, which led to upset kids and parents. Savoy says delays are a reality with pageants.
They actually signed rules and regulations, and the last rule and regulation is in 14-point type, bold print, and it says, please tell your family and friends that there will be long lines and delays, because when you have this many people, it's going to be long lines and delays to take pictures.
Savoy says angry parents threatened her, and at one point she felt afraid of the crowd. It was clear many people were not having fun.
I paid cash yesterday.
I paid cash.
Okay, you want me
this morning. I don't have one ticket yet.
Do you want to have a pageant?
I want my ticket.
Are people asking for money back?
Yes, they are.
Why is that?
Because it's chaos.
Savoy tried to calm down the crowd. She told me everyone will get what they paid for. Savoy committed to looking into Hayslip's situation and adds the BBB complaints are minor compared to overall positive reviews. She insisted she gives people what they pay for.
There is no reason that we don't want them to have the photos. That's their memories. So what could we possibly gain by keeping the photos from them?
Savoy definitely has her supporters, and I heard from a lot of them. The hotel owner told me his facility provided everything requested on short notice and says he was unaware of how many participants would attend, and there were simply too many people in the room for the AC to work properly. Had he known several hundred people were coming, he says he would have rented an air conditioner. Savoy says she reached out to the hotel a month before the pageant, but the hotel's owner says they never received a signed contract. And in the end, the room was provided to Savoy for free. Chris Negus, KCTV 5 News.
New tonight, a Missouri mother says an extreme case of bullying nearly killed her son, and she's accusing the school of looking the other way.
I told them that I just checked my son into a mental health unit because of their failure to protect him, their failure to keep him safe, even though they knew what was going on.
Investigative reporter Emily Sinovic explains it happens a lot more than you might think.
It was more than a kid calling him a name. The administration decided to look the other way. The board members decided to look the other way. The teachers looked the other way.
There's got to be a financial consequence for letting this go on.
Alex Barker is an all-around student, football player, wrestler, great grades, not someone you'd think would be a target for bullies.
I just kept telling him to suck it up. Deal with it. It's high school.
But Mom, Jessica Barker, soon realized this was more than just getting picked on.
Alex texted me, and I immediately went to the school and got a hold of the principal, and I told him we have a problem. You've been aware of this. You've been aware of the targeting. I said, now it's become serious. My son was just assaulted. He had been urinated on during school by the leader of the high school boys that were constantly targeting Alex.
During school?
During school.
But Barker found the school's response even more alarming.
I told him exactly who it was that did it. He called Alex into his office, talked to him, and then talked to me. Said that there was no way he could protect Alex.
Barker would later learn this student bullied other students before. Behavior she says the school allowed to happen again with her son.
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that this adult, he was 18 when he pissed on my son. It's sexual assault in the state of Missouri. The resource officer failed to do anything. The principal failed to do anything.
The cruel abuse continued for more than a year, and Barker realized she might lose her son.
So finally, in April of 16, I get a text from my son, and he said, I'm done. He was ready to kill himself because Mom wasn't listening. Mom didn't understand the brutality of it. So I went to the school the next day and told them that Alex would not be back. I told them that I just checked my son into a mental health unit because of their failure to protect him, their failure to keep him safe, even though they knew what was going on. Oh, the look on his face. When I had to leave him there. That was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. Ever. But I knew I had no choice because I was not going to lose my son.
She transferred her son to a new school district. Barker is now suing Mid-Buchanan School District, arguing the principal, quote, acted with deliberate indifference and failed to take steps to prevent HE and other students from continuing to harass and bully. The suit states Alex was, quote, the target of harassment and bullying by numerous students at Mid-Buchanan High School, as well as certain staff members. According to the suit, what followed included being, quote, singled out and physically assaulted during football practices, verbal harassment, and sexual assault when the student entered the restroom and urinated on Alex through the crack of the stall.
The cases that we are working on are diagnosed depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety. All of these things are real, and these kids are suffering from it. And on top of that, sexual assaults.
Attorneys Chris Dove and Dan Jamuski are partners at a firm representing Barker and dozens of other families in similar battles, describing sex assaults and severe harassment as, quote, rampant in schools. And parents, they say, are left in the dark about repeat offenders at school.
We have so many cases where that very thing happens. They catch the perp or they're told about the perp, and then the next week they're next to him in the hall or in class, and it happens again.
If the bully is punished, the victim's parents will never find out. Many times, school administrators point to a federal provision called FERPA, the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act.
The point was, hey, let's protect children so that schools aren't going out there and sending out information about children, minor children, and information about their learning disabilities and or, any, medical information. And so they've turned it into, hey, that must mean I can't give anybody any information until you get a court order subpoena and have gone through 15 steps before I have to give it to you. And so when you're trying to find out information, the first thing is a roadblock. It's, I don't even know what's going on in there.
It's not just a problem in Missouri. Just this past year, a lawsuit filed against the Shawnee Mission School District accused the district of doing that very thing when an 8th grade girl accused another student of sexually assaulting her in a classroom. The lawsuit states other female students complained to the school district about unwelcome physical contact by the perpetrator. The lawsuit goes on to say the school was aware the perpetrator had been involved in other incidents with additional female students and allowed the perpetrator to remain in school and continue to injure female students. Barker says she was in the dark too. The school never told her about previous complaints of bullying, some involving the same students who targeted Alex.
Then I found out after I transferred Alex that there had been other students that had transferred.
Because of the similar behavior? Because
they were being bullied. Because they were being harassed, and there was nothing the school was doing to prevent it, stop it.
But change is easier said than done. If you want to sue a school district in Kansas or Missouri, states give school districts immunity in many cases. So in order to sue, you have to go to federal court, and that's if the district violated a federal civil rights law. There are also caps on damages, limiting the financial impact on the district.
This person who did this was known to have done this to other people before. It hadn't been addressed. They were left in the school. That behavior by a school to allow that to happen, the only way that's going to change, in my opinion, is if there's financial consequences for that.
I want the administration and the board to be held accountable for what they failed to do.
Mid-Buchanan School District shared the following statement in response to our request for an interview or comment. It reads in part, the district refutes the allegations in the lawsuit. The district investigated the matter and followed board policies. The district strives to create a safe environment for all students and places the utmost importance on the safety of its students, staff, and patrons. For more information on the law, how it affects your child at school, and what you can do about it, just go to our website at kctv5.com. I'm Emily Sinovic, KCTV5 News.
Well, temps are about to take a little tick upward again. Now, today was a warm day, certainly warmer than the last couple of days. But at the same time, it's going to be the coolest day of the next 7 as this heat wave is just getting started. Right now, it's a clean radar sweep all across the area. I'm looking out 200 nautical miles, and there's not a drop of rain in sight. We could actually use some rain back here in the city and around the area, but unfortunately, it's only going to come in bits and pieces. 70 degrees still at this hour. It's 10 o'clock at night, still 70 degrees. In St. Joe, it's still 75. And look what's going on in the southern part of the metro. Same thing there, 75 in Lee Summit, also Olathe, Harrisonville at 77, Paola, almost 80. Well, Wednesday, it's going to be a warm one, certainly warmer than it was today. In the morning, it's mid-60s, already pushing into the low 80s by noontime, and 87 by 5 p.m. That will be your daytime high. It's not just warmer, but it's more humid tomorrow too, so that's going to add to the discomfort level. Here's the latest on the rain, and this does not look good. If you're needing some rain and water in your yard or garden at 6 p.m., not showing very much in Kansas City, and all of that fades away before we catch much of a drop. By Thursday, I think it's a little more widely spread. At 5 p.m. with the heat of the day on Thursday, better chances for rain will arrive. And then by Friday, I think we'll see more. This is just the morning, but in the afternoon and evening, better chances for rain then too. Your Security Bank 7-day forecast. The heat is on, everybody. 87 degrees tomorrow, 86 is Thursday, Friday, and then it really gets warm. Almost 90 degrees Saturday, and we will hit 90 Sunday and Memorial Day Monday with temperatures right at about 90. This looks more like July than the month of May, so settle in, everybody. The heat's about to start.
Now, KCTV 5 Sports with Danny Welniak.
The I-70 series continues tonight with Jason Hamill on the hill looking for his first win this season. He only allowed 1 run in 7 innings of work. A great performance as he gets some run support, too. Alex Gordon connects with a solo homer to center in the 2nd inning, and Salvador Perez makes one woman from Shawnee, Kansas, $1,500 richer in the Sonic Slam inning. The final score, Royals win this one 5-1.
Whenever you're ready, fire away!
Well, former Jayhawk Frank Mason returns to Kansas City to throw out the first pitch of the T-Bone season opener tonight in his all-star softball game on June 16th. He was promoting. Check that out. Fires it right down the pipe. The Sacramento Kings guard told us he loves going up, of course, against LeBron James because of their first meeting when he was 7 years old.
I told him that, I could score on you, man. I'll be in the NBA one day. I envisioned that as a little kid, and I scored on him 3 times so far, man.
He also told us that he had no idea that AD Shayon Zenger had been fired, and he had great things to say about what Zenger did for the basketball program. Olathe North High School got a golden football this week. They're delivered to schools who contribute to Super Bowl history. The Eagles are a big part of developing and supporting the career of running back Darren Sproles, who's now a Philadelphia Eagle and Super Bowl champ. On the first day of OTAs in the NFL, Chargers tight end Hunter Henry tore his ACL. The Chiefs got 2 of their injured guys back on the field. Looks like Eric Berry and Chris Conley took part, both coming back from Achilles injuries. Following today's vote at the NFL Spring League meetings, these are the new kickoff rules for the 2018 season. There's quite a few of them. You can find these and more NFL rule changes on KCTV5.com. Turning to soccer in the Missouri Class 4 match between Scion and Helias Catholic. Scion's Gabby Grimaldi gives the Storm an early 1-0 lead off that nice header. USA Today ranks Scion #1 in the nation, and they looked like it tonight, beating a very good Helias squad 4-0, advancing to the Class 4 quarterfinals.
Police action called into question. What happens when the good guys take your high-tech home security and do this?
Why these Kansas police officers say they had to do it, coming up.
A pair of Wichita officers are in hot water tonight for this video. It shows them moving a security camera on a man's front porch. The officers were there to check on a woman. Alarmed at what he saw, the homeowner called police for an explanation. They told him the officers turned the camera to the wall because they feared a possible ambush and didn't want anyone inside to know their location.
It was the talk of last season, and now the NFL wants those sideline protests to change. How one idea could cost your team points. Coming up. New at 10, taking a stand by taking a knee could soon mean a penalty in the NFL. And tonight, the league is working on a policy for what players can and can't do during the national anthem. One idea is to let the home team decide if players come out for the anthem. Another would give a 15-yard penalty for kneeling.
Gary's back with a final look at tomorrow's forecast next.
Temperatures tomorrow soaring into the 80s. I think tomorrow is the first day of the perspiration season, and it's going to hang around for a good long time.
All right, thanks, Gary.
And thanks for watching here tonight at 10 o'clock. Have a great night.